Hey, how you doing, people? Once again, here I am trying to get you on the right track about your identity so you can truly know who you are. But again, you know that you won't know who you are unless you understand who you belong to. We've talked about all of this. I've said at the beginning, and I want to make this clear. I especially like talking to women because I really do believe that we got to get ourselves together because we are the bearers of male and female babies. We bring humanity into the world, and we're not together. How do we expect the men are the women to be together? The girls are the boys to be together. So, women, we have this upon ourselves to get this thing together so we can also help lead again other women, but also be the helper whatever we need to be within our own family and within our marriages and what have you to truly be of assistance, of help, to guide, to teach, to nurture, whatever is needed. We're the foundation, the foundation. And so I talked first of all about the fact that one of the problems I've seen with many women that I've worked through the years is just the main fact again that they don't know who they are. They have no idea who they are. So they're out here running, trying to be everything to everybody else. Instead of understanding, first of all, I'm not here to please other people. I'm here to, first of all, please the one who brought me into the existence on this earth. And so that's where we talked about again that you got to come to terms with the fact of who put you here. Since another human being didn't put me here, can't put me here, don't have the ability to do so, then I look unto the hills from where my help comes. It comes from a higher source. And you've got to come to the understanding too that yours come from a higher source. And I told you that I chose to call my higher source God, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit. I told you also that I've been on the journey, that I've gone through this spiritual journey for many years before really coming back to the fact of who I was and who I really belonged to. I've tried all the different, religions, et cetera, and the journey of trying to find myself, people, places, and things, the whole caboose. But God brought me back here to the place that I started out with as a child. And as I went through my problems in life, I called on God. God came to my rescue, and God, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, is what delivered me and set me free. That I'm here today to talk about it. And so I'm able to say again that since I know who I am, I know who I belong to. I took you then to Genesis 1, if you want to read more about that and get an understanding and let it speak to your heart. We already talked about the fact that if I know who I am then and who I was created, then I walk in that image. I realize that I'm blessed. I realize that I'm supposed to be fruitful. I realize that my life not only can multiply in procreation of bringing life into the world, but also to be fruitful in other ways as well. And I realize again that I have control and authority over my life to make decisions, choices, and even about the way I think. And that going even further, also that God looked at everything that he had created and said, it is good. So we're good. So don't let nobody tell you anything else. I said, you ought to be validating your self-worth based upon what God says, not what man says. What does God say? Since God created you, look to God. Stop letting other people validate you. Stop worrying about what other people say, what other people do, what they tell you you ought to do. You need to know what you need to do for yourself. Speak to God, talk to God, and let God's Spirit talk to you and lead you and guide you and teach you to understand what God has just especially for you. And so as we're looking at trying to figure out who we are again and knowing who I belong to, then I realize again that I've got a foundation. And this foundation is what keeps me together. And this is the foundation that will keep you together. And then you need to, again, share this foundation with others, because what we need to be standing on today is a foundation. People are all over the place because they have no foundation. If the wind blows to the east, they're at the east. If it blows to the west, they go west, north or south. But you know, I'm focused. I'm going in one direction, and I know where I'm supposed to go. And God leads me in that direction. You know, I'm not on anybody's side. People say, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, you liberal, you conservative, all this, all that. Hey, look, I'm a child of God. I follow God, and I follow what God says about me and what God says about others, and what God says about how I ought to live my life in this world. I look at that, I'm guided by that. And if you be guided by that instead of all these politics that's going out here, because we're operating a politic agenda, ideology for our identity. And I don't connect with that. I connect with God. And when I connect with God, I can look and see who's right and who's wrong, what lines up with God. And I know a whole lot that we see going on today in the world is not of God, not the God that I serve, not the God that I know, not the God that delivered me. It's completely different from what people are talking about or teaching. And that's the other thing. Once you know who you are and whose you are, and you can see some things for yourself, you won't have to be moved by the crowd, be moved by what others say or what they're doing. You can think for yourself. You can think for yourself, and then you can operate from a sense of core values. And those core values, again, speak to life. And it speaks to life for all of humanity, not just for some. You think God just created one person, one race, one ethnic group? No, we're all the same. We operate from the same. The only thing that seems to want to separate us now is somebody got this crazy, stupid idea about color out here. What in the world does this have to do with anything? God created color. He created everything. And here we want to separate and divide and put people in these different identity categories based upon the power quest and the control that man has in his mind to control others. But that's because they don't know who they are and they're insecure about who they are. So when you are secure about yourself, you don't have to control others or be in power over others. That comes from insecurities. That comes from fragility. See, when I know who I am, see, I know who has all the power. That's God. And God gives me some power within my own life, but not to hoard that power over others or be in authority over others in a negative or mean or evil way. But in order to be on that level, I said again, you got to be on the spiritual lane. And again, the creator is spiritual. The creator is not natural. And most of us are not operating in the spiritual, we're operating in the natural. So if you're going to operate in the natural, then you're on the natural worldly level. And you're going to be on the level where men are and how they think and how they see things. And when we're on that level again, it's every person out for him or herself. They don't care about nobody else. But see, when you're on the spiritual level, you're on the higher level, you can begin to see things on the natural level. Be able to say, hey, look, I don't have to have this kind of authority over people, this kind of power over people. I can be who I am, and I'm okay, because at the end of the day, the one that's in control is God anyway. God will take care of everything within the natural realm in due season and due time, and he does it every day in due season and due time. And so David, which I want to talk about today, which is this other fact of knowing who you are, is that David, even thousands of years ago, a man that God once said was a man after his own heart again. And again, he didn't say after his own head or after his own feet or arm or whatever. He said, a man after my own heart. See, again, this thing is in the heart. This thing starts in the heart. And again, the only way we can have a warm and open and pleasing and loving, compassionate and caring heart is that we got to be connected to the spiritual source that gave us life that can touch our heart. And if we're not, then we're touched by things of the world. And all you got to do is look out at the world today, and what's in the world is touching you and can touch you in the wrong way. I mean, if I'm just touched by what I see in the world, I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be mad. I'm going to hold resentments. I'm going to hold revengeful thoughts. I'm going to hold hate in my heart because I'm connecting to the world. I'm connecting to people. I'm connecting to the flesh, and that's just how we move. But then I got to go a little bit higher so I can see this thing for what it is. And my heart has got to be touched, and only God can touch my heart. And when God touches my heart, then I'm able to calm down and see things from another perspective and realize again, hey, look, I can't operate in this hate. Because hate don't do nothing but bring on more hate. Revenge don't do anything but bring on more revenge. Killings are killings, just bring on more killings. And pretty soon, if we operate in that fashion, then we have nobody in the world. Because we'll be trying to kill off each other. We would destroy each other. And so thanks be unto God that we have some people operating in the spiritual realm to kind of keep this world in control. Because if we didn't, we would have destroyed ourselves a long time ago. But David, a man after God's own heart, was able to say, and this is what is so important about understanding his image and how he saw himself as a man, as a human being. And again, remember in the Old Testament days, the patriarchal season at that time is that, David was a man chosen by God. And what David was able to say in that one, and I want to make a reference, that 139 Psalm, he said, for you created my inmost being. That's what David said. You created my inmost being. Even he knew that for himself. We ought to think about that. Who created me again? And when we realize that man can't create us and there's something higher than us, and we look at ourselves in the mirror, then we can say, for you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. See, God has something to do with that. Think about it. Who else can put the inner makings of a body together in that fashion for a male and a female, sexual organs to come together, and what comes out is a human being? Or not only take human beings, but take the lower animal kingdom as well. I mean, who can do and design anything that marvelous but God? I can't create a bird or bring a bird into being, and you can't either, or any other animal. Again, a higher source did that. For you knit me together, he says, in my mother's womb. Think about that. He said, I praise you because I was fearfully and wonderfully made. And so that lets you know again that, this thing took, God, was thinking about this thing, took some time with this thing, had you in mind when you were created. So I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And that's how you got to look at yourself. You cannot go by what other people say about you or make yourself feel that you are less than. You got to understand that God created you. Human beings did not. So all these nasty things they say to you and about you're this and you're that, all you got to do is smile and say, you be blessed. You have a good day. That's not who I am. So if you know who you are, you don't have to get upset about what others say about you, because you know who you are. See, when a person knows who they are, I don't have to defend myself with somebody else trying to make you understand who I am. I'm going to operate in who God created me to be. And if you want to be foolish and operating who you think you are, you do that. Because you can't change a fool. A fool is a fool. So once we become spiritually in tune, we can gain more wisdom and understanding this thing, that we don't have to have a fight with everything, or we don't have to have a fight with everybody. Because I'm not fighting with myself. And as long as I'm not fighting with myself, I'm not fighting with you. That's your battle to fight. You go on, have a nice day. Your works are wonderful, David said. So once we understand, God's works are wonderful. Think about that. I know that full well. You ought to know that today by looking at yourself. I think I heard somebody say, look, I got two hands. Just look at your hands. I got two eyes. I can see. I got two ears. I can hear. I have a mouth. I'm talking right now. Eyes I can see. And I have a mind I can think, emotions I can feel, and I have feet I can walk. Come on, I have a nose I can smell. Come on, think about that. Think about that. And I have a heart. I do have a heart. There's something that comes from my heart. And where does that come from? That love, when we feel love and we experience love, or when we experience anything that has a depth and emotion attached to it, it goes to the heart. It goes to the heart. He said, my frame was not hidden from you, which means God knew us even before we were created. He knew what he had in mind. He said, when I was made in a secret place, well, that's God's place. It wasn't a hospital that I came forth, this was made before I even came into the world. Before I was even placed in my mother's womb, God was forming me. I was moving together in the depths of the earth, again, we're all dirt. Dust to the ground, we'll go again. And that's why I say again, everybody out here getting up, upset and talking about identity again, and we keep putting this color thing attached here with races in this society. We need to stop it, because when we leave this world, we're all going back to the dust of the ground. That's what we were formed out of, dust, all of us dust. And it just so happened that, dust is of different colors too. Have you not seen it? There's black dirt, there's brown dirt, there's dirt that look a little bit yellowish, a little bit red dirt, and mud, as I used to see it, how mud used to be red, all these different colors made from dirt. And there is, you've seen sand and dirt that's near looking toward white too, to some degree, lighter or white to some degree. But we're made of the dust of the ground. And we want to attach again in this world from this level of flesh, again, a color kind of problem. And put people in a category. But man did that. God didn't do that. The devil is a liar. Anybody who's saying anything different is a liar. It's a liar. Everybody's blood is red. I haven't seen anybody have a different type of blood. Same red blood that flows from my vein flows from your vein. And I don't see where, and I have not seen where we are so good and marvelous that what comes out of us smells any better than what comes out of anybody else. We all have to go to the bathroom, and we all have to dispose of stuff. And your smell and mine smell. So I don't know why people are putting themselves on a different level as if they're so much better than somebody else based on color. That's man stuff. That's man stuff of division. That's man stuff of insecurity. That's man stuff, again, of control and power, again, upon another person, another people. So again, you are beautiful. And that's the next thing we got to know about ourselves, that we are beautiful. God created us. And if all you got to do is just look at yourself in the mirror and think about the fact that there's nobody else that's just like you. Nobody God created just like you. You are the only one. Even your fingerprint, think about it again. Nobody else has the same fingerprint like you. You are the only one. That's why we have to give fingerprints at times when we go places. They can identify us because nobody has your same fingerprint, even your tooth mark. Again, when they want to find out who a person might be in terms of their identification or how old a fossil may be. Again, they look at the bones of the individual that they find, again, in the ground. And they can actually say, well, this was here thousands of years ago. Or this, again, can identify a specific person that we're trying to locate. So there's nobody else like you. Think of all the billions of people in the world and everybody with a different genetic marker. Now you tell me that's not special? You tell me that doesn't define you as a unique human being? And somebody want to make you out to be something that's less than that? The devil is a liar. Evil is a liar. Again, you got to stand on a foundation. You got to know who you are. You got to know who God is. And David also said that all the days ordained for me was written in your book before one of them came to be. And he said, how precious to me are your thoughts, O God. How vast is the sum of them. And so today, you know, what I really am trying to say is that you got to look at yourself as being valuable and stop questioning yourself and stop always trying to make others see you in the way that you want to be seen. People may not see you that way. And we can't get out of shape over that. We can't get bent out of shape over other people and what they think about us or how they feel about us. Even in the realm of love, you got to love yourself. Stop looking for other people to love you. Love yourself. Love yourself. And once you love yourself, it'll be a whole lot easier to find love because you won't be operating from an insecure standpoint. So you don't have to force anybody to love you, make somebody love you, or you'll be loved just for who you are. You don't have to control somebody to love you, manipulate somebody to love you. Love is freely given and freely received. But if you don't love yourself, then you'll operate again from that worldly standpoint. I'm not valuable, I'm not important unless somebody's paying attention to me, somebody loves me. Well, you pay attention to you. You love you. You accept you. Stop rejecting you. And when you operate in that frame of reference, it will be attracted to you and you will be attracted to it. Main reason we settle for less is that we don't know what realm to operate in. We'll operate in the realm of the world, how the world operates. Manipulation, control, power, money. We use things from a world standpoint to get people to do a certain thing or into our life, when we need to operate from a spiritual standpoint. I know who I am. I know who God is. I love me because God loves me. Love the Lord, the God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And then I love other people as I love myself. And then things are attracted toward me, and I'm attracted to those things. And I don't have to force anything. It starts to happen. It starts to happen, but we're so desperate. We don't allow anything to happen. We're just out there taking it, making it happen when it ain't supposed to happen, falling for anything. Instead of sitting back and standing on your foundation. But if you don't have a foundation, then you have nothing to stand on. You may be standing on shaky ground, sandy ground, muddy ground. It's not firm. So Today, people, I want you to like this video, subscribe to this video, tell others about this. But this is the place again where you can begin to get yourself together so you can navigate not only your life, but the life of your family and the life of others. Again, I believe it's in the hand of women, and as women get themselves together, we'll be able then to get the men, again, even more so, to know who they are, because guess what? We're supposed to be women who are able to raise up girls, and we bring boys into the world too, but we'll be able to connect with and attach ourselves to mates again in our life, who can be fathers inside of a family situation or in the world. But if women don't know who they are, we can't expect men to know who they are. We're losing ourselves, and we lose them in the process. So women, stay beautiful. You are definitely sacred indeed. Thank you.